Hello everyone, and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In this video, we're going to be looking at the exotic chest called the hoarfrost-z. Let me give you a brief description of what this exotic chest does. When using the Stasis subclass, your barricade becomes a wall of stasis crystals that slows the nearby targets when created. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, and let's get right into it. If you guys are interested in this build, as usual, the dim link would also be in the link of the description. Let's start with the Stasis subclass. It's called the Behemoth. The super is called the Glacial Quake. Next, let's head to the abilities. For my class ability, I was using the Rally Barricade because it has a less base cooldown rather than using the Tall Barricade. And for the movement ability, I was using Catapult Lift. And for the Stasis melee, it's called Shiver Strike. Hold input to leap through the air, releasing unleashes a powerful dash attack that knocks targets back and damages them. Next, we have the Stasis Grenades. It's Glacier Grenade. A grenade that creates a wall out of stasis crystals to block damage and freezes targets. These walls can be shattered for damage. And here's what a stasis crystal does. A crystal of solidified stasis matter upon creation freezes nearby combatants and slows nearby players. Crystals can be destroyed, dealing damage in an area. Let's head to the aspects. The first stasis aspect I was using is Cryochasm. After sprinting for a short while, enables a longer and more powerful slide. Sliding into stasis crystals or frozen targets shatters them and any nearby frozen targets. Here's what Shatter does. When a frozen target is shattered, they take damage and deal damage to nearby targets. Shatter damage also causes unstoppable champions to be stunned. The next stasis aspect we have is Tectonic Harvest. Shattering a stasis crystal creates a stasis shard. This shard grants melee energy when you pick up by you or your allies. Here's what Stasis Shard does. A small shard of stasis matter that can be collected to restore melee energy. Next, let's head to the 4 stasis fragments. The first fragment is called Whisper of Rhyme. Collecting a stasis shard grants a small amount of overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds. Collecting additional shards adds to the overshield and refreshes the timer. The next stasis fragment is Whisper of Hunger. Increases the melee energy you gain from picking up stasis shards. The third stasis fragment is called Whisper of Refraction. Defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy. This is going to tie off the kinetic weapon I was using in this build. So remember this stasis fragment. Here's what slow does. The target has slowed movement and ability regeneration. Their weapon performance is reduced. Slowed combatants have difficulty firing accurately, and overload champions are stunned. After accumulating enough slow stacks, the target is frozen. Here's what Frozen does. The target is trapped in a stasis matter and is unable to move. After taking additional damage while frozen, the target shatters. And last but not least, we have our 4th and final stasis fragment. It's called Whisper of Conduction. Nearby stasis shards track to your position. Next, let's head to the weapons. For my kinetic weapon, I was using the exotic trace rifle called Ager's Scepter. Here's what the exotic Ager Scepter does. The intrinsic trait is called Ager's Call. Final blows with this weapon generate a slowing burst around the defeated target. So every time you defeat a target, it inflicts slow. And also with the stasis fragment called Whisper of Refraction, when you defeat a slowed or frozen target, it grants you class ability energy. Next, let's head to the energy weapon. This Void SMG is called the Hero's Burden. And the perks that I was using is Feeding Frenzy and Destabilizing Rounds. For the power weapons, I was using a Void grenade launcher called the Regnant. And the perks that I was using for the Regnant has auto-loading holster, and the next perk is Explosive Light. And here's what the origin trait does for the Regnant grenade launcher. This weapon gains charges after assisting allies with revives, healing, overshields, or subclass buffs. Defeating targets consumes charges. While charged, this weapon gains bonus handling and reload speed, or charge of rate for swords. And you can also buff this origin trait with the seasonal mod called Defiant Armory. Greatly improves the benefits provided by the Noble Deeds, in which case is the Regnant grenade launcher, nanotech tracer rockets, tech balance stock, and ambush origin traits. And also it's a void weapon as well, so it ties to volatile flow, in which case picking up an orb of power grants void weapons volatile rounds. So I have 2 weapons that could give me volatile rounds. Next, we have the helmet. The first mod I was using is Void Siphon. Rapid Void weapon final blows creates an orb of power, in which case it's my Void SMG. Next, we have Dynamo. Reduces super cooldown when using your class ability near targets. Whenever I place my rally barricade, in which case it's the Stasis barricade, my super cooldown will be decreased. Last mod for the helmet is called Stasis Siphon. Rapid Stasis Weapon Final Blows creates an orb of power. Now, let's head to the gauntlets. The first two mods I was using for the gauntlets is called Bolstering Detonation. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. So in order for this to work, you would have to throw the grenade directly underneath your target in order for them to freeze. And then as soon as they freeze, you can use your aspect called Cryochasm. You can slide through your crystal wall and you can get class ability energy from that. The last mod for the gauntlets is called Heavy Handed. Your powered melee final blows create an orb of power. Now for the exotic chest, which is called hoarfrost-z. Here's what the perk does for it. It's called Glacial Fortification. When using the Stasis subclass, your barricade becomes a wall of stasis crystals that slows nearby targets when created. Standing behind this barricade will grant you and your allies increased weapon reload speed, stability, and range. The first armor mod I was using for the chest is called Concussive Dampener, reduces incoming area of effect from combatants. The next mod is Solar Resistance, reduces incoming solar damage from combatants. And last but not least, we have Void Resistance, reduces incoming void damage from combatants. Next, we have the boots. And for the boots, I would always put Recuperation because it replenishes health every time you pick up an Orb of Power. This is like my go-to mod for every single of my builds. And the two other mod slots I was using is Inspiration, reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Power. And last but not least, let's head to the Titan Mark. For the armor mods in the Titan Mark, I was using 3 bombers. Reduces grenade cooldown when using your class ability. Here are the 2 seasonal authorized mods I was using. The first one is Void authorized mod, and the second one is Grenade authorized mod. And here's what both of them does. The armor energy cost of all armor mods affecting your void weapons or your grenade mods are significantly discounted. Next, we have Shattered Orbs. The first time you break a combatant shield, you create an orb of power if you break the shield with the matching damage type. And my favorite seasonal mod for this season is Bricks from Beyond. Defeating a powerful combatant with a void weapon has a chance to generate heavy ammo for you and your teammates. And the last seasonal mod I was using is Prismatic Transfer. When you cast your super, each member of your fire team with a subclass damage type different than yours gains a bonus to weapon damage. Are you a hunter main and you want to know what build to use on your strand subclass? Well, look no further. Check this video out right now so you can have unlimited suspend. If you guys have any build you would want me to make, let me know in the comments. And as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and also subscribe.